Hello guys, good evening and welcome to the League Racing Nations Championship powered by QVR. Here for the first round, first race for the lads of Group C, and we have 5 nations being represented in Group C tonight. We have in the Ferrari and Mercedes Team England, so that consists of Blizzard, Aaron, Paris and Lewis. They're representing the English team, and we also have the Norwegians being represented. Yes, I just bring up the cars that are being represented in. Norwegians being represented in the Racing Point and Alfa Romeo cars. So they are the Norwegian guys. They of Steph, Jonas, Dantan and Jay Bogan. I'm going to apologise already if I butcher any of these names. I will apologise. And of course we got the Finnish team being represented in the Red Bull and McLaren. So the Red Bulls of Nutty and Kilski, they're representing Finland in the Red Bull, and the McLarens of Zero and Nolla also representing Finland there. And of course we got Ireland in the Renault and Toro Rosso. So we got Skeevan and Gary Donegan there in the Renaults, and Eloise Mark and Oshin MC in the Toro Rosso. And last but not least, we do have Portugal in the Haas and Williams cars. So Portugal being represented by Cortez. I ain't going to be able to pronounce that first bit. TP, TT, PC, Ortez, Atomic in the Haas, and then we got Mesquita, and we haven't got the other Williams man, so hopefully you can get into the session. But they are the guys who are represented here. As at the moment we do have Blizzard on provisional pole with a 1.8 flat on the soft compound tyre, so a good lap there from Blizzard. However, I am expecting times to tumble down, and here they are with Paris with a 1.7.9 as Kilski has rejoined the session, so that is good for Kilski. Just want to explain the rules. The 5 nations involved, their points will be added up collectively. Points going out to the top 15 here in this race. So everyone who finishes in the top 15 gets points for their respected nations. We have race number 1 tonight being here around Canada, and then we'll have race number 2 next week. And the top 2 nations in this group will advance on to the next round, with the nation that comes in third, as we have a safety car on track in qualifying. Unbelievable scenes, guys. Unbelievable, as we're going to go on board with Paris as he just drives straight through the safety car. As I was saying, yeah, the team that finishes in third, the nation that comes third in this group, they have a chance to advance on to the next stage. The only way that they can do that is by scoring more points than two of the other nations in the other three groups to advance to that next round. So right now we do have England locking out the front row with a 1-2 there for Paris and Blizzard. Oshin and Skivan there locking out the second row for McLaren, what am I about, for Ireland. So I'm gonna bring up the stream and see what is going on with our missing Portuguese lad. Is there any info? We got support for Norway in the chat, so Norway getting a bit of support, and Finland as well. Of course, Norway and Finland very close proximity to each other. So it's a bit of a national rivalry right there between those two nations, as it is with Ireland and England. And we get to see those rivalries come out in force here in this championship. Still waiting for times from Lewis and Nola. We did just have a time come in then from, I think it was Nutty in the Red Bull with a 9.1. No bad lap there, no bad lap. But right now, England being the nation that has set the initial pace, Paris and Blizzard, a 1-2 lockout right now. And then we got Aaron in the second Ferrari, all the way down in 10th place, but he'll be looking to improve on that. And we're still waiting for a time from Lewis, so we'll see what he can do. And then we got Ireland looking pretty good as well, and Ireland right now 3rd, 4th and 5th, and then we got Mark then in 8th. So Ireland looking pretty competitive with each other, and that's going to be good for them, because if they can line the stern in the points, that's going to be a good points haul for them, as Bogan improves to just put the Irish lads down a spot. As Oshin is on a lap, so we're still on board with the Irishman here in the Toro Rosso, just to see what he can do as he comes in towards the end of the second sector. Let's have a look at the Delta split. Is he up on his time? Yes, he is, by just under a 10th. That'll be enough to bump him up back into 3rd place. Good exit from the hairpin. And now DRS wide open, and a little bit of slipstream from the car ahead, being his Irish compatriot there, Gary Donegan, as Blizzard improves with a 7.6. What a lap there from CRG Blizzard, and to the line comes Oshin, and Oshin does improve and gets himself back up into 3rd place. But what a lap there from the man in the Ferrari. Fantastic to see. As we also got LOE Mark coming into the line right now, and he's going to duck out into the pits We do have a Williams coming to the line of Mesquita. I know I probably butchered that name, I do apologise. And I think he's just starting his lap as we got Atomic now coming to the line. There's the safety car again, not the first time we've seen that today in qualifying. Unbelievable. And to the line he'll come, and there's an improvement by 8/10, which pulls him all the way up into 10th place. And we have the Alpha of Dantan now coming to the line, looking for a good exit out of the final chicane. So it's going to be, he doesn't improve, he just barely misses out. And Kielski gets himself straight up in the P5 there. Good lap there from Kielski. And Lewis, I was just about to go on board with him, pops it in on pole with a 7.5. So it's an all English 1, 2, 3 right now, as Paris looked like it was a bit of an improvement, but it looked like he may have invalidated his lap time. We got Nola, who is ducking out into the pits, and it looks like we do have the missing lad from Team Portugal in the lobby now. So that's good news that Portugal will have all 4 drivers here today. But right now, England leading the way. Lewis on pole, Blizzard in second, and Paris in third. And England's 4th driver, Aaron, is in 8th. Then we have Bogan representing Norway in 5th, and Finland's Kielski in the Red Bull in 6th, splitting up the 2 Irishmen of Oshin in 4th and Gary Donegan in 7th. And then we got Steven just inside the top 10 there, we're in 9th place, ahead of the racing point of the Norwegian of Jonas, and then just outside the top 10 the final Irishman being Eloise Mark. I believe Mark will be the first one right now to cross the line, so we'll stay on board with Mark as he looks for a nice exit out of the final chicane to get his lap underway. So we'll stay on board with Mark as he breaks down into turn 1, not taking as much curve as you can get away with there. That might just compromise him a little bit, but into the first chicane does take quite a bit of curve there, keeps it all valid though as he comes up to the first sector split. He is just under half a tenth up on his personal best so far, and into the second DRS zone as he breaks down now into the third chicane, and we're going to see now what it is, and I think he might have backed out. Yes, he has. I did not have the telemetry open, so I wasn't sure. Salmon Pike has left the session again. But we do have a McLaren behind going pretty fast, and it is 0 now coming towards the line, and it's a 9.5. That is, he's going to want to improve now, and he only has enough time to do this one lap, but unfortunately he does have a little bit of traffic ahead, if you can call it traffic. Nola to the line, and getting ready to start his lap. So Nutty in the Red Bull, Zero and Nola really need to get a time out of this now. All the way down towards the back as we got Mesquita, who is out of the session, as Aaron gets up into 4th place before retiring from the session. So it is an all English first and second row as we got Dantan putting it up into P5 there. Good job there from the Alfa Romeo. As Atomic has also retired from the session. A bit of lag there whilst we were on board with Oshin, sorry, and a little bit confused with the lag, but we do now start to have people retiring from the session. So Oshin's not going to improve on his time. That might have just put Bogan off slightly as he comes to the line. He puts it up into 7th place as Steven retires from the session. Blizzard improves with a 7.3, and that is fantastic. Can his English compatriots do anything about that? Now Lewis to the line, DRS wide open. What is Lewis going to do? And he does a 7.3, but I don't think it was valid, as we now have Paris coming to the line. Is he going to be able to challenge his compatriot in the Ferrari? Once again, it doesn't look like the times are valid. So there it is. That is the end of qualifying, and we shall see how the grid lines up now. So we have an all-English first and second row with Blizzard putting it on pole ahead of Lewis. Paris in 3rd with Aaron in 4th, an all-English first and second row. Then we have Dantan, the Norwegian, putting it in 5th, just ahead of Kilski, the first of the Finnish lads, in 6th, Bogan in 7th. Then we have 3 Irishmen lined up astern, Gary Donegan, Oshin and Skivan rounding out the top 10. Then outside of the top 10, as I ran out of time. Ran out of time, but don't worry, we will get the rest of the grid now, as we got Mokego, who I believe is the final Portuguese lad here racing for Portugal. Portugal's first team, actually. I should point out that England do have 2 teams in the League Racing Nations Championship, and so does Portugal. Norway, I believe, also had a second team, but unfortunately I don't think they made it through the qualifying phase. So let's have a look at the tyre compound outside the top 10 as we continue on our rundown of the grid. So in 11th we have Jonas there, the Norwegian, in the Racing Point. Then we got Eloise Mark, the final of the Irish lads, in 12th. Then we have in 13th and 14th the Portuguese duo of Cortez and Atomic. And we have the other Racing Point, and that is Steph in 15th place, the Norwegian. And then we have the Finnish man in the McLaren. Actually, we have a finish 16th, 17th and 18th in Nola, Nutty and Zero. And then rounding off the grid, Esquita and Mokigo, I believe that is how it's pronounced. I'm not sure. Once again, I apologise for butchering some of these names, guys. Rounding out the grid. We got a little bit of a strategy going on outside of the top 10 with Jonas, Mark, Cortez, Nutty and Zero opting for the medium compound tyres, and the other 5 of Atomic, Steph, Nola, Masquita and Mokigo opting for the soft compound tyre. So we will see how the alternate strategies work out for them as the guys are now forming up on the grid. So the grid is all formed up, and here we go. 2, 5, red lights. Lights out, and we are underway for the opening round of the League Racing Nations Championship, as we got carnage into turn 1 with a car ghosting, and that is Kilski and Oshin making contact there. We've got Steven getting past Gary Donegan, as the McLaren of Nola getting past Mark right there. So a good start from them as Oshin is dropping places left, right and centre, and look like a bit of contact there with the McLaren, and the McLaren is around no front wing on Nola, and that is going to be a long trip back to the pit lane, but fortunately there's still a long way to go, and the McLarens have made contact. Nola and Zero both making contact, and they're both out of the... well, Nola is out, still going around with no front wing, but Zero is out of the session. Meanwhile, Aaron has dropped a fair few positions, going from P4 all the way down to P9 under pressure from the racing point of Jonas, as Blizzard maintains his lead from pole position. As here goes the racing point down the inside into turn 1, a little bit of contact there made, and also we got the Red Bull of Kilski and Gary Donegan side by side, contact made, and there goes Kilski around. This has been a as it looks like we have a well, it looks like Kilski is lagging a bit. He did go around for me on my screen, but he appears to be lagging back and forth up the order. Well, on board with Skivan, just so we can get a bit of a view of the Red Bull lagging. Now that is going to be dangerous for anyone to try and pass Kilski, not knowing exactly where he is on track. Meanwhile, looking at Aaron, who I think he might have a bit of front wing damage. No, he doesn't, not from the looks of it, as DRS gets enabled, and just looks like a bad start there from Aaron, and Mark getting passed up into 11th place. And it looks like Skivan has now got the job done. It looks like Kilski has gone around again, but we'll wait to see if he has actually gone around. It looks like this time he actually has. Yep, Kilski is around, so that releases Gary Donegan, Jonas, Cortez and Mark, as well as Aaron as well. We're looking for a battle on track, and we do have one with Steph and Atomic battling for the last points playing position right now, although it is still a very long race ahead, as we have Nola and Nola and Mesquita into the pits as we got Cortez and Mark having a bit of a battle right now. DRS wide open for the Toro Rosso, the Irishman. Going to try around the outside of turn 1, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold it there on the inside and get the job done. So a good start there from the Irish lads, as Kilsky has lagged his way back up into 6th place. I'm not sure not sure exactly where Kilsky is in the grand scheme of things, but we'll go with the current table saying that he's in 6th place, as Cortez trying to come back at Mark, and this will be the opportunity he'll be looking for now on the run down to the final chicane, the Wall of Champions. Looking for a good exit out of the hairpin. He does get a nice exit there, and he should be able to close right up. As we got Bogan into the pits, and it's a very early pit stop. This is for a front wing change. No front wing change, so it's just a tyre change. And Cortez down the inside of Mark there for what is now 9th place, and Dantan picking up the first 3-second time penalty of the session. Meanwhile, up ahead, the top 3. At the moment, it is an all-English podium, and Lewis has actually managed to get past Blizzard, so he wasn't on board for that. But Lewis now leading this race with Blizzard in 2nd, Paris in 3rd. Dantan under pressure from Kilsky. Meanwhile, we have the Irish duo in the Renaults trying to hunt them down. That is Stephen and Gary Donegan. So on board with Kilsky, as Lewis and Blizzard into the pits, and so does Dantan. So interesting, we're seeing the pit stops coming out quite a bit earlier than what I would have expected. As there we go, we have a bit of a lag spike there from Kilsky. It is not what you like to see, but especially if you're racing, you really don't like to see anyone lagging right in front of you. Right now we got this little bit of a blockade for Jonas to try and make his way through. However, his tyres will slowly start to become the better tyre, as we just see Kilsky lag off our screen right there. But can the Racing Point upset the Irish lads in the Renaults? As Stephen is also into the pits. So it looks like the strategy that a lot of these guys are going with, those who qualified on the softs, is a soft medium, which is technically the fastest strategy around here, apart from those who got damage early on, being Nola and Mesquita. I believe as we also have Oshino made a stop, Nutty made a stop, Steph made a stop, Atomic and Mokigo also making a stop. Meanwhile, Atomic picking up a 3-second time penalty now. In a race where it is this close in the midfield, a 3-second time penalty is really going to hinder you. But right now, well, I was just about to say that Gary Donegan, the only man apart from Aaron, who is still out on the soft tyres, but into the pits comes Gary Donegan. So we'll see where he comes out in relation to Stephen and Kilski. Looks like Stephen has managed to make that undercut work as Blizzard sets the fastest lap of the race. Right now, Lewis all over the back of Cortez, and Cortez realizing he's not in the same race as Lewis does jump out of the way of the man in the Mercedes, the Englishman. And now we have England versus Ireland on track right now with Eloise, Mark and Lewis, and this is going to be job done into the chicane or into turn 1. So it looks like Lewis just going to stick behind Mark for right now, and this will be the move, I believe, into turn 1. No, he sticks behind him. So Lewis not really wanting to force a move there on the Irishman. Meanwhile, Bogan and Dan Tan limestone in 6th and 7th, with Blizzard right behind them, who has lost out a spot to Paris there. So Blizzard, the man who put it on pole position, losing out to both of his compatriots in the Mercedes. And actually being held up quite a bit because Kilski is not too far behind now. So it looks like Blizzard having a bit of trouble right now with the traffic as he goes down the inside of the Alfa Romeo of Dan Tan. Also, Dan has also made a pit stop as well. So these two are battling for position. Same with Bogan. So it's not really traffic that Blizzard's got to get through. It's the guys who pitted a little bit earlier and got the undercut. As Mark and Cortez having a bit of a battle. They are in a battle effectively for race position between the two of them, at least. Not effectively in a net P3, P4, but they're going to want to finish ahead of each other as they are in the same race as each other. Both opting for the mediums at the start. And that means that Paris is going to have to be... he's going to have to be alert when he's trying to make these moves. He can't get a bit too risky with this. As Cortez makes a mistake, goes deep, and that is Paris through on Cortez. Meanwhile, this battle for what is effectively for third place, because Bogan and Blizzard, Dan and Kilski have all made their first pit stops. Stephen not too far away, as Paris also making it past Mark there, and Blizzard getting past Bogan, so is back once again with an all-English podium, as we have the Norwegians of Bogan and Dantan and the stern right now, right behind Blizzard. The Finnish driver of Kilski in 9th and still lagging around. And then we got the Irish duo of, well, the Irish trio of Skeevan, Gary Donegan and Oshin from 10th down to 12th. And then we got the Finnish man in the other Red Bull Nutty right on the back of Oshin, as we got Dan and Kilski making some move, and Blizzard getting past Cortez quickly. It looks like Dan has managed to get the job done as... oh! Cortez into the wall. what has gone on there with Cortez? Wonder if he tried to fight Blizzard into the chicane, or maybe he was fighting with Mark, I'm not sure. But Cortez into the wall, and that is going to be some front wing damage for him as Gary Donegan slips through there, and we got Nutty and Oshin battling out. That's a big old squeeze there from Oshin to the man in the Red Bull, as Blizzard picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now that could be very crucial for Blizzard, because we've just seen after the first pit stop just how seriously traffic can hold you up here, and if he does come back out in the second pit stop into traffic again, he could be under some serious pressure from the likes of Brogan and Kilsky. Speaking of Brogan, looks like he's going to try and make the move on LOE Mark, and down the inside Mark will try to fight back around the outside, but don't think it's going to work. The fresher compound there of the man in the Alfa Romeo is going to help see him through, as Aaron picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's not been a good race so far for the other Englishman. He did have a pretty bad start, dropping down into 11th, and he's been trying to battle his way back through ever since. Meanwhile, Lewis about to take the race lead from Jonas, and that's so lovely into the hairpin, and we'll also get DRS to help pull away. Meanwhile, Skivan and Kilsky for the 17th time so far this race have traded positions, only to be lagging back into formation. Aaron making his way past the Red Bull of Nutty, and that is job done there for the man in the Ferrari, the Englishman. Now he can try and get onto the back of the Irish pack. Well, it looks like Skeven. Oh! I'm not going to count out Kilsky right yet. He may just lag up the road in 2 seconds. But that, yeah, there it is. Kilsky lagging his way back up into 5th. Technically in the net 4th place right now. As it looks like Eloise Mark will be given his Irish compatriot Gary Donegan DRS, and will be moving out the way promptly, I believe. We're going to go on board with Gary Donegan, and yeah, here we go. No fight in there between the Irish lads, as Mark is into the pits along with Jonas. Jonas opting for a set of hard compound tyres to the end now. So that is a very interesting. He is planning on going straight to the end, as Kilsky has, he spun it, then lagged his way back up into 4th place, going slow in the second, in the chicane, and then lags back up into 4th. It's impossible to keep up with Kilsky right now, guys. But Jonas coming back out in 9th place. He isn't going to stop again now. That's it for pit stops for the man in the Racing Point. Same with Eloise Mark as well. Cortez, though, the other man who stayed out on the mediums, opting for a set of soft compound tyre, so he is definitely locking himself in to the 2-stop, which personally I think the 2-stop is quicker. As Skivan picks up a 3-second time penalty, not good for the Irishman, though he is all over the back of Brogan in the Alfa Romeo, as Atomic's retired. he just retire in the pit lane? I think he may have. I think Atomic may have just retired in the pit lane. Unfortunately for the Portuguese lad. Meanwhile, we do have a battle right now with the English lads, Blizzard and Paris, as looks like Kielski lagging. Once again, changing positions, and he'll probably pop back up in the fourth. Right, there we go. As Blizzard DRS, and it looks like it's going to be a relatively simple move there on Paris, and it's going to be job done for the Ferrari. It looks like Skeevan has managed to get past Bogan for 5th place, so a good job there from Skeevan, and Kielski picking up a 3-second time penalty. And even though he is lacking around all over the place, he can't hide from a 3-second time penalty. As Blizzard picks up another 3-second time penalty, so Blizzard right now, if the race was to end as it is right now, he would be dropping back off the podium. So Blizzard really does need to push now and hope he doesn't pick up any more 3-second time penalties. But guys, I want to know from you guys in chat right now, who are you most surprised with so far? Which nation are you backing? In the chat, let me know. Let me know who you backing, who are you surprised at in this race. As Gary Donegan over the back of Dantan. He's going to have a look to the inside for the chicane, but doesn't want to go for it. He's going to wait, maybe line up and move into turn 1. DRS wide open as Mesquita has also picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. As we got support from the Norwegians, and right now the Norwegians of Dantan and Bogan are in a big old battle with the Irish lads of Stephen and Gary Donegan. Not to mention, John is doing decent right now on those hards, but he is being caught by Aaron, the 4th Englishman here racing tonight. He's going to be a little bit upset seeing his 3 compatriots up there in the podium positions while he's down here in 10th, but if all 4 of England finish in the points and 1, 2, 3 in race 1, they pretty much, got their ticket already punched to advance to the next round. Meanwhile, as far as the other nations go at the moment, the Portuguese team only having 1 guy in the points, and that is Cortez in 14th, and that's not going to be a big point haul there for Portugal, so they will really need to hope that this 2-stop from Cortez can really bring him back up against Mark later on in the race, because Cortez does have the pace to come back at Mark late in this race, and he could maybe come back at, I was going to say Nutty, but Nutty is also a little bit up the road and will be making 1 more stop, as well as Bogan into the pits. A fresh set of medium compound tyres, 15 more laps, or 16 more laps, including the one that we're on. as Oshin also into the pit. So it's going to be a good recovery second stint there from Oshin to get himself back up. He was just ahead of his compatriot Mark before coming into the pits. So Oshin should have the pace to come back at Mark by the end of the race. Meanwhile, Dan is in an Irish sandwich, but you can also say that Gary Donegan is in a Norwegian sandwich. As Blizzard, Paris and Kilski all into the pits. So the next man who we should probably see into the pits out of these guys up ahead, I'm expecting Steven and Dantan to be into the pits this lap. Gary maybe the following lap, although he might actually stretch it for softs. That could be an option there for Gary Donegan. Yes, or an Irish an Irish sandwich, of course. As we got a bit of a corner cut there from Gary Donegan there. We won't be happy that we caught that on stream, but we did. But he is now under pressure from Blizzard and Paris right behind him. The English guys already making their final pit stop. Looking to the inside is Blizzard, and he wants to clear the traffic as quick as possible. Stephen into the pits, Dan staying out, and that might have just compromised Blizzard just a little bit, but it doesn't matter because he is going to go around the outside into turn 1, and that is Blizzard back up into P2, and Paris getting past Gary Donegan there to get himself back up into P3. And should be able to get past Dan Tam with the aid of DRS on the back straight. But how much time is he going to lose to Blizzard by being stuck behind the Alfa Romeo? You can see he was literally pushing him there through the chicane as he makes the move stick, and he has lost 2 seconds to his compatriot in the Ferrari. As Lewis is now into the pits, Skeven losing out to Bogan in that pit stop phase, and Kilski all over the back of Jonas. Now this is going to be the interesting thing. Will Jonas hold up Kilski for his teammate? That is going to be the question. This looks like Skeven has just got past Bogan, as well as Jonas unable to do anything there to stop Kilski from getting through. But Mark back up into 8th place, though he will have Dantan and Gary Donegan rapidly closing in on him with those fresh medium compound tyres. They are already on the back of him. Dantan having a bit of a look now with a bit of DRS, and he's going to want to clear Mark as quickly as possible because could be some Team Island tactics going on. Mark defence as hard as possible. It helps Gary Donegan close back up. Gary does not have DRS, so Dan does have a free opportunity now to get past Mark, and he does so before the braking zone of the final chicane. And that is Dan ahead of Mark. Mark getting out of the way immediately of Gary Donegan. So Gary straight up into 9th place, able to keep with Dantan Mark stepping out of the way. Good tactics from the Irish lads as we got Jonas and Skeevan side by side. Skeevan looks like he is going to just about get ahead with DRS into the chicane, and that's so lovely. And now Jonas will be moving out of the way of Bogan, his teammate. Yes, he will. So Bogan now hoping he can catch up to Skeevan as Kilski once again. We have no idea where he is. He is lagging left, right and centre. Right now the timesheets put him in 4th. Every time we go on board with him, he does something like that and just does something like that. Kilski is a wizard right now. But we do have 3 retirements in this race. The 2 Portuguese lads of Morcego or Morcego. I do apologise for butchering it. I struggle with names sometimes, guys. Morcego retiring early on, and Atomic as well. So 2 lads from Portugal out of this race, and then we got Ozone Zero, who collided with his compatriot, his teammate in the other McLaren, Nola. So the Finnish lads coming together, and Zero being the one who DNFs. Nola hasn't managed to get himself back into this race, but with the field as competitive as this and as close as this, it's going to be tricky to get back up the order. Meanwhile, I did forget to acknowledge that Blizzard did get past Lewis there. However, I do have a feeling that Lewis is just going to cruise straight on by with DRS by here. As DRS wide open, and yeah, Blizzard's not going to fight it. Although I would like to see these two have a battle for the race win. It's Gary Donegan down the inside there of Dantan. A little bit of contact made there, I think, but minimum contact altogether. It could have been a lot worse. As Gary, he has DRS and he does stay ahead of Dantan for now. As Aaron picks up another 3-second time penalty, and it's not been a good day for the Englishman, but he does get past Eloise Mark, so he does get past the Irishman. However, with the amount of penalties that I've seen pop up for Aaron, he needs to pull away. Does need to pull away ASAP. Now, Blizzard and Lewis, are you going to treat us to a battle, please? I know you're teammates, but come on, let's have a battle, lads. We do have Paris just chilling behind as well. Kilski lagging around in 4th place, and then we got Skeevan in 5th. Then we got the Norwegian pairing of Bogan and Jonas in 6th and 7th. Gary Donegan in 8th, under pressure from the Norwegian of Dantan. So Norway and England both doing good in this opening race. And obviously we we can't make assumptions until penalties have been applied out at the end of the race, but I mean, as it stands right now, all four English drivers, all four Irish drivers, and all four Norwegian drivers all in the points, so it's going to be pretty tasty going into the next race if everything stays as it is. Knock on wood that it does. Because 3 retirements in the first race is more than enough, I'd say. Okay, so we are on lap 29 of 35. Lewis leads the way ahead of Blizzard and Paris in third. An all-English podium as it stands right now. As Blizzard actually gets past Lewis with DRS, and are they going to treat us to a battle? I don't know. Meanwhile, it looks like Stephen and Brogan, as well as Jonas, Gary Kilsky has literally come to an absolute stop, and then he's lagged up to fourth again. It's difficult to keep an eye on Kilsky. Yellow flag in sector 3. Is that for? I think that was for Cortez, as he's been overtaken by Nutty. And Nutty on those soft tyres should be able to pull away as well. And Cortez into the pits, I'm assuming for a set of soft compound tyres, but I should note that there is no bonus point for the fastest lap, guys. I'm going to go back on board with this battle for 8th place between Gary Donegan and Dan Tan. They're both closing in on Jonas, so this could be a three-way fight in a matter of, I'd say, around about 2 laps, depending on how much Gary Donegan closes in on Jonas ahead in this lap. Right, sorry about that, guys. As Lewis gets back past Blizzard for the lead. Meanwhile, we'll go back on this battle with Dan Tan and Gary Donegan. Dan Tan closing in, but not close enough to make a move. Is he going to get close enough into turn 1? It doesn't look like it, though he is saving up his ERS very well. Meanwhile, Gary Donegan is spent on his ERS. And Jonas is looking pretty good on ERS as well. As Gary Donegan picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to be good for the man in the Renault, the Irishman. Yeah, that's a good point in the chat there from Game Boys. Group D's race is currently going on. So as soon as you're done watching the final 3 laps here in Group C, make sure you jump on over and tune into Group D. And also don't forget that Group B is also going on right now at the exact same time as Group C, so you get 2 races at the same time, and you know, you gotta love it. And you can always go back after the stream and check the action from Group A as well as Group B. If you don't have 2 devices open at the same time to watch both races, you can always go back and catch them after the streams, but I highly recommend watching all 4 groups to see who is looking good to advance to the next round. As Gary Donegan all over the back now of Jonas, and now DRS will surely help the Irishman overtake the Norwegian. And here he goes down the insides. Blizzard picking up another 3-second time penalty. And Gary Donegan getting the move done. However, he is spent on his ERS compared to Jonas and Dan, as Bogan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now the question is Jonas going to let Dan through? Because I think the best opportunity for the 2 Norwegians to get past Gary Donegan as Dan Tam picks up another 3-second time penalty, and so does Aaron behind us. Lewis sets a fastest lap there with a 1:09.9. What a lap there from the Englishman, leading this race right now as we are on the final lap of this race. Doesn't look like Jonas is going to move out the way for his compatriot. So it looks like Gary Donegan may be able to hold on. He just needs to hope he can break DRS on this lap. And he's already out of DRS. So Gary breaking DRS on the Norwegian, and that should be Gary looking pretty secure for 7th, as Mesquita picking up a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, coming through the final chicane, picking up the victory is going to be Lewis. Meanwhile, Blizzard will get 2nd on track, just ahead of the English teammate of Paris, and it's an all-English podium. Stephen will come home in 5th place by, oh, that is a very close margin, as Bogan now to the line. He'll come. What about Gary Donegan? Is he going to stay in 7th place? No! Jonas does get back through, and we got Aaron coming home in 10th place. But what about Mark and Oshin? As Aaron has left the session, not very happy with how his race has gone, and Oshin does jump his compatriot Mark to 11th place. Meanwhile, Steph to the line, and that will be 13th place unless Nutty can jump in on penalties. There was an 8.3 second gap, so it'd be a miracle if he does, but he doesn't. So in the opening round here, the opening race for Group C. It is an all-English podium. Lewis picking up the victory ahead of Blizzard and Paris. And with Aaron picking up 10th place, that is a big result there for the English lads. Meanwhile, we are going to have a pretty tasty battle going into the second race between Ireland and Norway from the looks of it. But there it is, Lewis picking up the victory, Blizzard in second, Paris in third. The Finnish lad of Kilski in fourth, Skiven, the leading Irishman, in fifth. Then we got Bogan and Jonas, the Norwegians, line the stern in sixth and seventh. Gary Donegan in 8th place for that final penalty. Well, actually, Jonas didn't actually pick up a penalty, so fair play to Jonas. Same with Oshin as well. But Gary in 8th, Dantan in 9th, Aaron in 10th, Oshin in 11th, Mark in 12th, Steph in 13th, Nutty in 14th, and Cortez in 15th. They are the points paying positions. Outside of the points, we have Nola in 16th and Mesquita in 17th, and then our non-finishers today were Orkego, Atomic and Zero. So it's not been a great day for the Portuguese team, as well as the Finnish team as well, for that matter. But it looks like we are set up lovely for a interesting battle between Ireland and Norway going into the second race next week. So that is it for round one, race one here with Group C for the League Racing Nations Championship powered by QVR. Hope you guys enjoyed the action, and I'll be looking now at the other races to see what went down, as I hope you all will. Don't forget to follow QVR on Twitter, make sure you subscribe, and yeah, we'll catch you next week for race 2 of the first round here. I've been Mike, and we'll catch you next week.